Yeah. Good that you're watching the video on demand of the Night City Wire. Some people are already in the chat. We will be having new gameplay today. And I'm of course joined by Dennis, who I like to watch all these Night City Wires with. So Dennis, I think you did more preparation than me. You kind of looked at what we can expect, right, during this stream.
Yeah, just this morning. So if I missed some things, that might be due to lack of time. Also, hello to everyone in chat as well, and thank you for having me as usual, Yor.
Yeah,
But
sure.
yeah, they've been a bit more silent than they were before the other two Night City Wires that we had. But I still think, like from what they said in the tweet, we're gonna see some exciting stuff today. Should be more information about the world as well as the different factions we're gonna be fighting, and especially that last part has me really excited. I don't know about you,
Yeah,
but
for
we've
sure.
we've seen the tweets about sort of the lore behind the different factions. I'm really curious to see how different they're going to be to play against, because it's of course cool if all the enemies look different and have their own vibe to them, but if they all um, actually play different and have like different types of enemies that only belong to a specific gang or faction, then we're in for some really good stuff.
Yeah, I totally think so. Actually, every screenshot I see for this game, there is like an enemy that I haven't seen before. Like, sure, they are from the same faction, but the variety seems to be there, and also like in the NPCs. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I see everyone saying hello. 14 more minutes to wait. That is right, because we like to do sort of pre-show as well, and it always sucks with streams like this to like go live and then there are technical issues and then the stream is already happening. So it's good to already start beforehand. Yeah, Cyberpunk news. It's November 19th. We now actually learned that the PlayStation 5 will be launching on the same day here in Europe, Dennis. So
Yeah,
turns out
Cyberpunk release title.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a launch title. It's of course not coming to next gen like immediately, so we will be playing it backwards compatible. That's good to know. And also, what's good to note, just like as sort of standard thing, but maybe if you got the PS4 version of the game or like the Xbox One version, the physical version, pre-ordered, then don't buy a digital only console because I don't think you can then like play the game there. It obviously makes sense, but maybe some people don't know. What other things do you expect to see? I think they changed something last minute, right?
they did, and I'm secretly a bit disappointed by that, because they were going to talk about the music. We of course already had a little bit about the music last time, but
Yeah.
they were going more in detail on the soundtrack and the artists that were collaborating on it. But they swapped that out, and they posted a really sneaky hint. The Cyberpunk Twitter account is a
Yeah,
bit of a
snark.
troll
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah, for sure.
which I dig for sure. But they said it's information that we require. So I'm assuming, and you said that as well already, that they're probably going to talk about like the system specs and requirements for
Yeah.
PC. So for people who want to play on PC, I'm sure that's exciting news. I personally think I'm going to be playing it on the next gen consoles, but yeah, of course, every bit of information we get
Yeah.
is useful.
I don't hope they read it out loud. That they are looking at the spreadsheet and like, so if you want the minimum requirements, you need this video card. Like, just say the specs are out there, show them on screen for like a
Yeah,
minute or talk a little bit about it and move on, because like people who want to know about this will look it up anyways. So I hope they just stick to new gameplay, because that was kind of my critique from the previous Night City Wires. The amount of talking versus the amount of new footage is not really in balance sometimes. They usually have a few trailers that they show, and then afterwards they talk about these trailers while showing the same footage. So I really hope that this time we maybe get more of a walkthrough. Like something we saw during the first Night City Wire, or actually, no, that was not the case. Like we saw a trailer, and then people who played it got like B-roll. That was way more interesting to watch, because
yeah.
at this point we're actually, okay, we're 2 months away. I want to see like a larger walkthrough, but I'm not sure if that's what we will see here though. But,
I definitely agree with you. I hope so too. We did the only longer section of gameplay we had was the brain dance segment, I think.
oh yeah.
That was in the first one, but then the gameplay demos they showed before they started doing the Night City Wires were actually longer stretches of gameplay. And I mean, it's clear from the screenshots and the footage we've seen so far, they've updated so much, just down to the graphics level. If you compare Johnny Silverhand's model in the original demo as opposed to how he is now, they've updated so much.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we
for
still
sure.
haven't seen like longer stretches of gameplay, because also in the trailers they cut it up. Like, of course, that's what you do in a trailer, because you want to get to the exciting bits.
Hmm.
But I honestly would love to see just like a stretch of maybe just 2 or 3 minutes of continuous
Yeah.
gameplay, just to see how that works. And I'm really hoping we're gonna see that today here. I personally don't think so.
No, looking at the
Um,
topics, like the world is what they're going to focus on. We of course we know Night City, the huge city, and of course we have the Badlands outside of the city. I think there are 6 districts in Night City, if I remember
yeah,
correctly. And we have only seen some of them with like screenshots, and like some are way more modern, while others are like really like sort of the criminal side of the city. So I don't think that you can like really show that with like one walkthrough, as you said. So it will likely be just small bits of every district. I think that would already be cool. Um, and yeah, I kind of wanna also just show a new part. Like they're really focused on that early part of the game with the life paths, where you of course choose the nomad, the corporate, and the street kid. I want to see what happens beyond that point, right? So right now they're really focused on, because that's only 45 minutes, if I like recall correctly. That is like different depending on which life path you choose, and then after that you of course have different choices that will impact the overall course, and options that you can only have as a specific life path. But I want to see, what does a character midway through the game look like, right? What can we expect in the end game? Is there one district that is like way more dangerous, so that we can only go to there when we are like more beefed up? I think that would be pretty cool.
yeah. I think the only footage from like high level gameplay they showed so far was that demo with the animals leader boss fight with the
Oh
giant
yeah,
sledgehammer. That was high level gameplay. But the other like longer gameplay demo we saw was actually a mission with that weapons deal where you had to go steal the drone from one of the
very early
gang.
mission.
That's one of the missions that was in the demo session that
Yeah,
some
yeah.
games journalists were lucky enough to play, which means it's in the first 4 hours of the game. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely agree with you. I want to see more about what the mid and end game looks like and what kind of cool abilities you can unlock. And of course, I don't want them to spoil everything. I'm completely fine with there being some surprises left in the
Oh, I
game.
think
But
there will be many surprises left
oh,
with how they have been
definitely.
treating the game. Even if we're looking at the third live stream of this already. I see some people ask also if we bought the PS5 and we secured it. It's of course like pretty crazy out there right now. Well, we both have it, right?
We do.
Yes.
Thank God for waking up on time the next morning.
Yeah. So someone actually called me. Like I was like editing till late after the Sony event, and I already like saw on Twitter that some US stores were like pulling up pre-orders like immediately after the show, or like a few hours after. So I was like, oh damn, in the Netherlands it's gonna be crazy as well. And then I suddenly like when I woke up from someone calling me, dude, yeah, I got a pre-order now. And I have to be honest with you, Dennis. I got two, just in case. I'm like, I placed my bets, right? I got two retailers, so if one is screwing me, I still got the other one.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm worried about. Like at one point I'm gonna get nightmares, like having an email from the retailer being like, "We're sorry, we put too many pre-orders in and now we cannot like ship it out to everyone." I'm hoping they don't make that mistake, but if it happens, I'm gonna be very sad. But for the moment, it looks good. I'm happy. I don't know how I made it in time because that was a lucky stretch as well. I was also still in bed, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just check Twitter to see if anyone has an update yet on
Yeah.
when those pre-orders go live. And then 10 seconds later, I was in my pajamas sitting behind my computer, making sure I got one right in the nick of time. So that was a very
It was
exciting morning.
these pre-orders were up for like I think we have like the biggest, like the Amazon in the Netherlands is called bol.com. I think they got it up for like 20 minutes, which is pretty long actually
Yeah.
compared to other retailers. And after that it has really been like a few minutes before everything is gone. It's insane. Let's see, we got some other questions from the chat here. I also have the Cyberpunk team. Yeah, that was kind of sad. Like, they were supposed to talk about music here. I kind of, on the other hand, like it though, because last time they already kind of went in depth on the samurai band, of course, in the game, played by a real-world band, which is pretty cool. Are they going to make a third-person view? Sadly, not, Sharper Eagle. It's really first-person. That's like the main critique I'm seeing from especially people watching this channel who I think prefer third-person games. I'm personally fine with both. And usually what you also see with like the Bethesda games, where they have two modes, it's usually one is preferred, like the first-person mode in Skyrim and Fallout, and you can do a third-person mode, but that's like super wanky. So I prefer them like focusing on the first-person mode in this game. And I think with the augments you can do, it's actually way more exciting, right? Like that you can really enhance your eyes, so you can zoom in with your weapon or something like that. Like that makes way more sense when you play first person.
There is one small consolation for people who would like to see their character in the game, because one of the things I found out this morning was that there was a Q&A they did. It's up on, I think it's up on their YouTube channel, but one of the devs did with some of the questions from the Russian community. And they stated that there will be an advanced photo mode feature in the game.
Oh, cool.
And that
At
will
launch?
actually allow you to... I'm not sure if I don't think they said whether it would be at launch or not, but they did, I think, say that was able to view your character in third person, because they specifically wanted to make sure people who put a lot of time into the character creation have a way of taking nice pictures of the character they made.
Yeah.
So,
I love the mirrors already, and the third-person cutscenes should be in the game as well. So there are still ways to see your character. But yeah, that's obviously the downside of all these first-person games. You can get the samurai jacket or just any other cool outfit in the game, and yeah, you will just not see it a lot, which is kind of the sad reality. But yeah, will we have flying cars? I think we saw flying cars. Yeah, I totally think so. I think actually in the corporate mission you start in one, right? It's not like a flying car, it's more like a shuttle, but...
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to use those for traversal though. It's just like a fast travel system. I think the vehicles that you'll actually be controlling will be mostly ground vehicles like cars or motorbikes or stuff. But they haven't denied that yet, I think.
Yeah.
So here's to hoping that it can still happen.
Yeah. For sure. I see some people ask about the PS5 version. So what they said is that the game will come out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And then there will be a next-gen upgrade that is free that will come in 2021. So you can still play the game, again, if you have a physical console with the physical disc. You can still play the game on your new hardware on the PlayStation 5 and Series X and S. But you will not have the same enhancements as some other games like Watch Dogs Legion, who are really using the ray tracing. I totally expect that the next-gen upgrade will be significant for Cyberpunk, because they really seem to take their time. And there will still be benefits from playing it on the next-gen console, like the load time should still be better, the resolutions should still be more stable, I think. So there are still some benefits, it's just not like that real next-gen experience. Hey, Overhype Gamer, thank you for everything you're doing. Well, Overhype Gaming, really appreciate your donation there. Thanks a lot. I'm gonna check, by the way, I always forget to pull this up. I'm not even sure if you see the follows and stuff like that. Ah, I know why. No. Many people have been following, but yeah, nobody saw it.
In that case, thanks to every one of you for following. That's really appreciated.
I think it should work now. Any final words before we get in? 30 seconds.
I'm just excited to see more Cyberpunk. I don't really know what else to tell you. I just hope they show us some cool stuff we can get excited about again.
Yeah.
Because they did show little snippets last time, and we had critique, but at the end of the day, everything we just makes me more excited about this game.
What they showed looked awesome. I want to thank Ikrek for resubscribing there 2 months in a row. Thanks a lot for that. Now we're getting into it. If the audio is not loud enough or something, let me know in the chat and I will...
Here we go.
You know living no fate. Every day digging the grave. Stepping up here with the stakes. City of dreams, city of...
I got the same intro.
Hello and welcome to Night City Wire Episode 3, the show from us at CD Projekt Red where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077. In today's episode, we're going to start by taking you on a tour of Night City in a new gameplay video and have a chat with senior level designer Miles. Then we're going to introduce you to the gangs of Night City in another new gameplay video and have a chat with Mateusz from our quest team. Then before we finish today's episode, we're going to give you a look at some of the incredible finalists in our PC case modding contest. And we have some information that PC players have been waiting to hear.
This must be
so let's get started.
Specs.
It's time to take you on a tour of Night City.
Cool new gameplay, let's go! Still waiting for like some songs from the soundtrack, like what they're using here.
I think they only posted one.
Oh my god, we need to hear today's news is Nova Max.
Hi there. New to Night City? It's not so bad here.
How we feeling today? Cause I feel amazing.
The food. The Thai on 7th and Haywood. The pierogies down by the docks.
Our home. Our pride. And as always, your business is my business.
And this is your World News Update.
Music man again. This looks like the most next-gen game coming out this year, and it's not even on next-gen, it's like insane.
Endless possibilities and endless lies.
We are fucked, America. And I don't know how we're gonna fix it.
The homeless population in Night City has risen by 300%.
Crime in Night City is
so
now
varied
double the rate than in the new United States.
It's like showing real like live footage of
that heck. Yeah. 2 little forest fires.
You want to be some kind of hero. But that's a fight this city won't let you win. On your own, you're fucked.
Well, on that note, that's it for today's Info Flash. Sleep tight, Night City. The grass ain't greener anywhere else.
Night City. What does it mean to you? How well do you know its history? Who was Richard Knight? How many stations are in the NCART system? Which city district boasts the best burrito in town? The answers to these questions and more can be found at the address at the bottom of your screen. Check it out and fall in love with Night City all over again.
She pulls my trigger, got me up all night. It's a danger pretty.
Yeah, and the night also beautiful.
Okay, that was already really impressive, not gonna lie.
Looks great. But it's just another video like this, right? November 19th.
Well, since Night City is one of our stars of this episode, there is actually quite a lot to talk about. So let's start at the beginning. How did Night City come to be? Because yes, it exists in the world of the tabletop, but how do you take that and make what we've got now?
Well, yeah, as you can imagine, making a city that is as big and complex as Night City is quite the ambitious project. First off, we sat down and we were really considering what is it that we wanted to do with Night City. In a way, Night City is the star of Cyberpunk, right? It is one of its main characters. We wanted to make a city that is very, very believable, right? I mean, the word immersion gets thrown around a lot, but really, we wanted you to be able to dive into it and feel like this is a real place. And then secondly, we also wanted to provide enough variety between districts so that exploring Night City would always be fun, right? There's no point in making a city that is all same-ish, and you know, it doesn't really matter where you go because once you've been through one district, you feel like you've been through all of them. So for that, we first off started taking a look at the real-life geography that Night City is located on, and that would be on the coast of California. Knowing that Night City would be a coastal city gave us a bit of insight into what we would expect from the city layout.
Yeah.
You'd expect the port, you'd expect huge industrial areas that would facilitate this kind of trade that you would assume a city of this type would have with the world. And then we went through and actually divided the city into several districts, 6 of them, and some of them are based on the original lore. We decided to give their own characteristics in terms of architecture, their demographics, the kind of people that would live there, and also the function within the city. Each of these districts in turn we divided into further sub-districts, which we further characterized using the more grand theme of the larger district. This process, I think, has resulted in a city that feels quite alive, has a lot of character, where each district feels like its own distinct zone without feeling separated from the larger picture. And that results in something that allows the player to easily navigate even the complex concrete jungles of Night City simply by looking around and always having a rough idea where you actually are.
But Night City is clearly so different from anything we've ever created with The Witcher. Can you give us some idea about, or some insight into just how big and like how densely packed Night City really is?
Yes, so I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that Night City is easily the most complex thing that I or the others have worked on. The city is super organic, right? It's not like a chessboard layout, but the layout of the city is crazy, and you can tell that it grew in phases, right? Where buildings have been built on top of each other, and I guess the mega buildings that we have showcased are a great example of this. You'll actually see that they are located on some kind of pillar, you know, and then expand outside and then up high into the sky, and underneath it you'll have space for other buildings. This yields a lot of interesting experiences when it comes to exploration, and that's the one thing I'm most excited about for players to experience. We've been saying that our exploration is super vertical, right? But what this really means is that it changes the way you explore the city. Compared to our previous games, you won't be able to easily set out on a target in the distance, right? You won't be able to say, oh, there's a castle on a hill over there, I'll try to get there, and then you'll be lost on the way. But here it's much more intimate, much more moment to moment. You might be roaming the cities and get a call by your fixer who informs you about a job nearby that you might be able to do, right? Or you find an alleyway and you walk down one of the many alleyways that the city has to offer, and it's always a surprise. You don't know if you might stumble upon some gangers hanging out that are
stuff
up
to analyze
no
later on.
Sometimes, and these are the moments that I often get surprised with, you'd even stumble upon the odd elevator that is meant to connect parts of the, you know, different layers of the city, and it's quite astonishing sometimes to see where you come out when you enter one of these and, you know, find that, oh, this is actually how it connects to the world. That's crazy, and now I'm here, and now I know there's a shortcut that I can take. And again, this all serves to really enhance this sense of wonder that we all come to love from open world games, and the whole city is built to cater to that.
I mean, you guys have really brought Night City to life, and I really want to make a point of that. It is a living, breathing city. So as a level designer, can you give us some insight into those little touches that you guys have made? Because I hear you guys have even been placing rubbish by hand.
I'm not sure the audio is out of sync.
We've been placing quite a bit of rubbish, and that's certainly one of the more glorious parts of being a level designer or an environment artist, where you get to litter the streets that you've spent time building with the garbage. But it's details such as this that we find really important to make the city feel alive, and also we take great pride in the process of making this, right? We have a lot of fun actually placing a lot of what we call mini stories, right? These are little encounters that you can find when you simply walk along the streets. Of course, we have huge quests, right? Side quests, we have lots of side activities that you can do, but it always is nice to just kind of stop down for a minute and take a look at your surroundings that we have so lovingly created, and try to see if there maybe isn't something that you can be a little detective for. Now, one other thing that I think is really cool is also the fact that we have actually named every single street in the city. So not only will NPCs be able to communicate their locations or the locations they want you to visit by sort of referring to the street names, but also you will be able to talk to your friends about it in that way, right? Have you been to Poplar Street in Japantown, for example? And I think this is a small
insane.
detail, but the philosophy
actually
that
really
we have
useful.
with these kind of things is that, you know, many small
videos goes to
things
Japan.
contribute to the sum
Yeah.
of it, which is hopefully then you being able to explore a city that you feel is truly alive and that you haven't been experiencing before.
Well, Miles, thank you so much for giving us your insight. I suppose when the game launches, you could be an official Night City tour guide instead, right?
I might be, yeah. You know, if this game dev thing doesn't work out for me, I might retire and become a tour guide in Night City.
Don't forget that if you are tuning in late or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channels soon. Now, from the 6th Street
Yeah, there
to
was
the
something
Valentinos,
weird because now the lip
it's
sync
time
is
to
good
introduce
again.
you to the gang
Interesting.
of
I didn't
Night
notice
City.
anything.
Yeah, the gangs.
Let's go.
Want to see those clowns again.
You know how things work in Night City? The stronger survive, but that's how things stand. You're either somebody, or you fizzle out into nothing.
Then C ain't a city that lets you get by without buddies.
Be very careful, my friend. We are all so far from home.
Which gang's the city's biggest and baddest, according to the NCPD?
Scavs hold the body count title. Or Maelstrom, depending on the season.
One time, a Maelstrom ganger killed a young kid right in front of my eyes for shits and giggles.
Chrome-sucking psychos.
And who the fuck are you to say what can and can't be? I'm gonna introduce you to our meat grinder. About time we had some fun!
Think Maelstrom never forgets?
Never! I hate these Borg fuckers.
Just a gang like any other, right?
I'll take the Valentinos. They follow God and the Santa Madre. Honor means something to them.
How'd you meet Jackie?
We started out together.
In the Valentinos?
No, in the fucking Bible book club.
I gotta give style points to the Valentinos. They have a punishment for every occasion.
Gangster life, puto!
Quick shout out to everyone in Haywood and Santo Domingo. Lately, the Valentinos and 6th Street have had a bigger bone to pick.
6th Street. Why'd they
Every
want to
district
wipe
has
you?
their own.
I don't can't fucking stand Tinos.
Fucking suck!
I've dealt with 6th Street before. We do the run, they'll transfer the cred.
Come on, let's go before 6th Street shows up.
Chamber, yeah.
Shot! Any more Second Amendment fans in the house, huh?
Hate those bastards. Vomit lofty patriotic bullshit all day. Time to bring on the future.
Any idea how many attacks from behind the Black Wall we neutralized? If the Voodoo Boys breach the Black Wall, we'll all be fucked.
Voodoo Boys. Urban myth, I thought. Net runners spooking each other. No such gang.
You know, I heard a few things about you. The Voodoo Boys, best runners in town.
You do not steal from the Voodoo Boys. I see you.
Yeah,
Always.
some upgrades.
For them, Pacificas just hate each other.
Definitely.
Their own island, cut off from the rest of the city.
This is our turf, our home. Until last week, the animals crawled in.
Animals are the craziest fucking gang in the city.
Breaker skull!
Animals aren't the play here, are they? They're hired muscle. Someone else needed them.
I fucked you over, you fucked the gang over. Somewhere at the start of the story, somebody fucked the Corp. See how this works now?
My husband's new Westbrook. Very high in the tiger claws. They did what made the best eddies. Sold sex and black market tech.
See a lot of tigers. They run this place.
Know what else they do well? Break the knees of people who ask questions.
We gotta do something.
the hell?
Fuck up.
The tigers will kill us.
Come on, baby. Tiger claws killed one girl too many, so people took matters into their own hands.
Folk went ballistic. Girls, pimps, outcasts, the whole freak show. It's how the Mox got started.
Think you're some kind of gang group now, huh?
Us Moxes have each other's back. We look out for one another. You looking for some company tonight?
How'd you hook up with the Mox?
I thought Susie and the gang could really change something in this city.
Moxes and nomads don't seem so different. Both seem to yammer a lot about community, solidarity. Tell me about the Badlands. Not much going on out here, huh?
Au contraire. This is an ecosystem. Nomads, Raft and Shiv, corporations and drifters, they form a complete whole.
Remove one part, the delicate balance topples.
Here in the Aldecaldos, it all stays in the family.
Classic dilemma. What comes first? Family or the outside world?
This family will go to hell and back.
Everyone in this city lives in their own bubble, and either you fly high or sink into quicksand.
That was the best trailer they ever released for this game. Gotta be honest.
Mateusz, thank you so much
so much
for
cool
joining
stuff in
us.
there.
I have personally been really excited to give people a closer look at the gangs. We've shown a little bit on Twitter, but their styles are so distinct.
Yes, I enjoyed them a lot as well in our game. I think they're very cool.
But let's start then with the kind of role that they play, because gangs really do play a prominent role in Night City, correct?
Yes, definitely. The gangs, they rule the streets of Night City. You know, they have the newest cyberware, they have the newest weaponry, and they are really a power that everyone needs to take into account when they are thinking of operating in Night City. You will encounter them as you explore the city, of course, but also as you complete main quests, side quests, different jobs for the fixers. Sometimes you might even get hired by them.
But then, I suppose everybody's thinking then, can you join a gang?
Well, V is a merc, and mercs of Night City are this unique, distinct group that stick mostly to themselves, right? And they get jobs from a variety of factions. They can get jobs from corporations, they can get jobs from gangs, they can get jobs from different kind of like influential clients. Because of this, nobody will ever trust a merc to be one of them, right? And the gangs are no exception here. They are looking only for like people that they know will be loyal to them, right? And that they will fight for their cause all of the time, not just some of the times when it's profitable to them. So because of this, V will mostly stick to the Afterlife. And the Afterlife are this group of mercs, this legendary group of mercenaries in Night City. They get the best jobs, they get the most money, the best clients, and so on. So if you want to become a legend in Night City, you are going to the Afterlife.
So we've obviously mentioned distinct style then. So does that mean there are kind of special gang-themed weapons and items and clothing for players to find and use?
Yes, definitely. There are different vehicles that you can drive, for example. There are cars, there are motorbikes. Then, of course, there are different pieces of clothing themed after gangs. There are weapons and so on. So yeah, definitely there are things to look forward to.
I suppose as somebody who's spent as much time as you have kind of getting to know the gangs, I have to ask, which is your favorite and why?
Thanks for the donation there.
So I would have to say probably Maelstrom, simply because they have this unique, distinct feel and this weird aesthetic about them. So the idea about Maelstrom is they are people who want to cross the boundary between the machine and human, right? They are changing so much of their body with cyberware that they no longer look human, really. On top of that, they are also very unpredictable. It's very difficult to say what they will do at any point when you meet them. At one moment, they can be shaking hands with you, and at the other moment, you know, they will pull gun out on you, and they bring in this element of chaos into the game, which I really enjoy personally.
Oh, Matty, thank you so much for joining us. It's always interesting to learn what your favorite gang is. I think it kind of tells me a little bit about you.
Oh, does it? What does it say about me?
Well, we'll talk about that later. But for now, before we wrap up today's episode, we asked people to show us their creativity and design a PC case mod, Cyberpunk style. Our panel of judges selected 5 finalists and we teamed them up with professional case modders to bring their concept to reality.
Okay, and this is an advertisement, I guess.
Yeah.
These 5 amazing designs will be fighting for the main prize, an Alienware Aurora PC along with other awesome gaming peripherals. Brought to you by our partners, Alienware, Nvidia, and SteelSeries.
I mean,
Let's
Alienware makes sense in a way.
I absolutely loved this one.
The whole aesthetic works with each other.
That's sick.
Absolutely next level. Honestly, kind of terrifying.
So when you're playing, it will like walk away or something. Like, dude.
Exactly the type
like
of thing.
if you've been playing for too long, you just set it to walk away.
It really looks like it could have come straight out of the game.
Fighter has to win.
To watch the full PC case modding video and to get more information about when the winning design will be available on charity auction, stay tuned to our social media channels. Looking at those PC case mods, it reminds me that we do have one more thing to reveal. If you're going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077 on PC when it launches this November, we do have some specs to share that I think some of you have been waiting for. The minimum system requirements for Cyberpunk are a Windows 7 or 10 PC, Intel Core i5 3570K or AMD FX 8310, 8 gigs of RAM, and an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780 or an AMD Radeon RX 470.
Oh my god.
In the storage department,
I'm
the
still
game will
behind
take up
17,
roughly
yeah.
70 gigs of space, and although it will run off a HDD, we do recommend an SSD. As for the recommended specs, you're in the green if you're rocking Windows 10,
Oh
an
yes,
Intel Core
I have Windows 10.
i7 4790 or AMD Ryzen 3
So that was what
3200G,
you were excited
12
about.
gigs
I
of
thought it
RAM,
was another
and
thing.
an NVIDIA GeForce GTX
is asking if
1060
you're
or
streaming
AMD
tomorrow.
Radeon R9 Fury.
As far as it
Thank you
stands
so
now, yeah, I
much
think
for
I
joining
am.
us for episode 3
Kind
of
of
Night City
depends on
Wire.
what happens with
Don't forget
Avengers.
that if you've missed anything or if
We
you
could talk
just
about it
want to
after
watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channels shortly.
Oh
And
man,
we
they
will be
saved the
back
best for
soon
last.
with episode 4.
Damn, that trailer at the end. That freaking trailer. Pre-order now. Hey, here we see it. Here, plays great. Also on Series X and PS5. First time we see that. I like the plays great. It's like, don't worry, it plays great. Stadia
Yeah,
is actually
it'll
not at
work.
launch. which
It
is
just
interesting.
works.
It just works. But I got Windows 10, so I can play Cyberpunk. That's pretty nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that sucks about Twitch. We cannot like really. Let me like. Do
Need
it
to
like
see if
this.
it's
I'm gonna
back up
have-
on YouTube.
So what do you think? What were your initial impressions? I'm gonna pull up the trailers right now.
I'm going to be spending probably the remainder of the evening or tomorrow just digging through those trailers because there was so much cool stuff in there. A lot of things we haven't seen before. Like I don't think we've seen. There was this mech enemy in the city trailer. I don't think we've
Oh,
seen that.
yeah,
before.
yeah.
That looked really cool.
Yeah, with
Um,
like a sort of guard type of enemy, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think
We're
it was either
gonna-
Militech
Okay, we're
or
going
Earth.
4K as well. We're going 4K. I got Windows 10. I can pull this up. Are we back? Hello? Oh wait, this one. Okay. So we're rocking it 4K now. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, but what really stood out to me, but I'm kind of sounding like a broken record now, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The amount of detail they put in, like the little things they
Street names.
focus on, like
Oh man, in
it-
4K this
in-
looks amazing.
in this trailer, I was laughing out loud during stream at one point. There is a cardboard sign that says aliens have abducted my wife and children. Help me celebrate. Like little stuff like that. Like
Oh really? Nice.
that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That they put so much and the advertisements and like the details and all of the different gang outfits. I think
You'll be checking Reddit. I don't think you're able to. Like I think so many people will just put up these random small things on Reddit.
yeah,
because
definitely.
They found them.
Too much stuff to
Oh my god. This looks
to
really
get out
good
of
in
it.
4K, by the way. Yeah. Just yeah, insane. I have no like every time I see the game again, I'm just reminded that we talked about like all the PS5 launch games, and Ubisoft, of course, at their forward, they're launching 3 big titles this fall, and I'm super excited for Valhalla and Watch Dogs, of course, and Immortals in a way as well. But oh yeah, I saw the one you were talking about.
Yeah.
But this is on another level in many ways. Like games like this just don't come around that often from the looks of it. And that's what's kind of sad that it's actually launching in this busy fall. That we will be like switching between games, or obviously many people will just jump into this game, but that will mean that you're not like playing like Miles Morales will launch on the same day as this for PS5 in the Netherlands and the rest of Europe and the UK. Like, how can you choose between those? I'm also like, yeah, maybe play Miles first because maybe you will be done over the weekend, but I also cannot wait to play this. It will be insane. I'm kind of sad that it did not launch because it was supposed to launch, I think, today. I think today was actually the launch day, or yesterday or
Well,
something.
initially it was April, of course, but then
Yeah,
after
then-
they delayed it, it was at least this week. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Indeed. So that's pretty insane. Like that's it's kind of sad. Like that's why I'm happy that Valhalla got delayed, actually, or not delayed, but brought forward.
Reverse delayed.
Reverse delayed indeed. And I said it multiple times. Like I think if this was the only game that was coming out in the first quarter of next year, or like in a quarter anywhere, we would have enough to play. Like this already has so much content. And kind of like the stories that you're talking about, that really reminds me of Red Dead, where you're also like going through the world and then there's like a burned down house and some like papers and you're like, okay, what the heck happened here? And then you kind of figure it out through like different clues, and it really seems like this game has that as well. The amount of variety, like in the holograms and just the amount of stuff that is going on. I'm just kind of the only thing that worried me after this is that I think they're showing too much like of the PC version high spec, because I don't think we are able to get like the same quality on like the regular Xbox One, for example. I don't think
I agree.
So that's gonna be actually a thing where I'm like, okay, will people be disappointed when they put the game in their hardware and then find out that what we've been seeing all this time is actually not how it runs on their system? That's obviously still like and I just don't believe that this is a current gen game. Like if they said it's PS5 Series X only, I would be like, yeah, this is one of the most impressive next gen games I've seen, and maybe not in terms of sheer graphics, but more in terms of scale, in terms of amount of things that are going on, the detail. Like it's insane. And the trailer that we're watching right now of the gangs, I think that's, well, like I said, the best trailer they've released. It showed multiple parts of the city. It showed action gameplay. It showed the enemy variety, the mission structure, or like kind of in a way like how we can interact with these factions. It just showed so much that I've kind of been wanting. Now I just want that walkthrough. Like, show me how 30 minutes from A to B work. On the other hand, don't show me anything anymore. I'm like settled. I know enough. I want to just play it now.
I have to be honest. I'm still curious. As someone who is like a big fan of like tabletop RPGs, and the fact that they sort of ported this over from a tabletop RPG system, I'm really curious how the RPG mechanics going to work, like the skill mechanics and the leveling of the different weapon
But you will
classes.
only like see that when the game is actually out, then, right? Like that's really something that I think you can tell after 20 hours, or do you want like a sort of overview of sort of the systems as well, in a way?
Like the different types of skill trees, because they've shown the names, but I don't think we have an example of what each of them do yet. And I think it would be interesting to know what is possible within that system or not, because I remember like one of the things I was really impressed with in Fallout New Vegas, don't know if you've played that one, was the fact that if you fully level up your speech, you can just talk your way out of the final encounter. And I thought it was such a cool thing that is a true role-playing game. If you want to be a negotiator, you can be that. And you don't have to pull out your gun. Well, not ever in that game, because you had to fight some monsters and stuff. But
that will likely be possible here as well, you would think, right? With the way they're like really focused on. But yeah, I get what you mean. You want to know to which degree you can go with that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they were like, can you beat the game without killing anyone? They were kind of cagey about it, but that also I think kind of has an impact on the choices you make. And from moment one, you don't know, I think, in many situations, if this choice will lead to an encounter or not. So, yeah, I'm like kind of overwhelmed in a way. Like by the amount of
Same
stuff.
here.
Like this trailer, it was like, so it's like multiple, like it feels a little bit like, in a way, with all the different like influences from the different countries that we obviously see in the real world. Like it feels like multiple games, and like Sleeping Dogs, then we got like more GTA, then we got like more Rage or Mad Max. Like it's all meshed together in one game in this cyberpunk setting. And like,
can you? I just thought of something. Can you do something for me real quick? Can you skip it back to the Tiger Claw segment, like with the sort of Japanese inspired?
yeah,
Was
yeah.
that lady at the start, like the older woman sitting at the desk? Wasn't that the fixer from the weapons trailer? She looks similar, at least.
Yeah, that's possible.
I think she
Let me
might
see.
be. So that's cool to know that would be a faction that you can actually pick up contracts for. Because I feel
They
like
teased that during the presentation as well. They were like, yeah, you can work together. I think you're right, actually, that she is it. So was that also no the katana gameplay they released later? That was like that was like really early in the game. That was like another fixer. Yeah, I think you're right. Like that in that gameplay, the weapons trailer. What I think will happen now, so we're like 2 months away from launch. They will totally ramp up I think October will be crazy in terms of marketing for this game. I think they will just do one more of these, or maybe two, like one more at the end of October and then one more directly before launch, something like that maybe. One will be about the post-launch. Like they still got to show, like they talk about the free DLC that we saw for The Witcher as well, and how they're going to even expand on that. And we also should expect like 2 big expansions that will be paid, while the other content will be free. So I'm sure they will talk about that in a way, and maybe go more in depth on those RPG systems, because looking at the previous, because they touched on legendary weapons, but also not really. Like, they just showed multiple weapons, and if you don't know the item card, you were like, okay, so which one is legendary and which is like a more regular weapon? That was kind of hard to tell. But I think this was my favorite, maybe. Night City Wire.
So the weapon segment in the previous one was also really good. This one overall, to me, is just great. And I agree with you. I think what I think they're gonna do, I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I think the next one is going to be about character customization. So both like physical character customization and then maybe things like skill trees and skills you can level up and stuff like that.
We saw that for the first time, like the gameplay trailer, but like an upgraded version, you mean, right? It's like, yeah, I think you're right.
Like more in depth on because they showed very specific examples of like, this is a build you can make, but not like what different parts make that build click and whether you can combine those parts with perhaps something else. So that's what I'm really interested to see. And of course, I think they're going to save the music segment they were going to put in this one for the next one then.
Yeah.
And then I think the final one before launch will be about post-launch plans. So the free DLCs.
So you think 2 more before launch?
Yeah, I think so. One in October and one probably first or second week of November is what I'm calling.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Think so as well. Like this week just showed us how crazy the fall is going to be. We knew it already.
Yeah.
But like they announced Demon's Souls for launch. We were not sure about that. We have like Spider-Man now, also the remastered version. We have I'm thinking like, yeah, there are likely some other PS5 games. Like Outriders still needs to have a release date. We saw it during the Xbox Series S video, so I still think they will like maybe be on November 10th as well. Immortals got announced for this fall. Like they still have to show a ton for Valhalla because they have been pretty quiet. Watch Dogs is I don't know, Dennis. How are we going to do this?
I think we need to invest all our remaining funds in caffeine. I think that is the only way.
That's right.
That is literally the only way. Yeah. Maybe figure out either time travel or cloning in the meantime. I don't know if anyone in chat has something on that we might be able to use.
If you got some cues,
I don't know.
tips there, input@JorRaptor.com. No, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But I really think, like, for the channel, to be fair, I think the focus will be on this game and Valhalla. Like, that is the sad reality. Like, I prefer covering 2 games as well as can be, than instead of like doing it like kind of just trying to do everything, because that's not possible.
Yeah, and especially with games like this deep and complex and big as Valhalla and Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
One of those would be enough for like 2 months at like easily.
This game is gonna, like, in terms of content, I think it's gonna be fine till like I think in March maybe you're running out, and they have likely put out new content already by that point.
Definitely.
And then we got other Ubisoft open world. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's
okay,
like I said,
well,
caffeine, man.
it's a good thing to have. Like, we're about to, maybe that's already happening. I'm not sure if there's like the press conference for the Netherlands, because COVID in the Netherlands, like, you likely don't know about this if you don't live in the Netherlands. It's spiking again. It's like super high. Maybe they're announcing the lockdown, Dennis, and we will be in lockdown until the end of the year, so we got more time to play these games.
Yeah.
At least the games are still coming, which is a positive thing, I guess. Thanks everyone for watching, of course. I always appreciate it that you choose to watch our live reactions while other people are, of course, also doing it. We will likely be making a video on this, although I gotta be honest with you, Dennis. They showed a lot, but like, is there like really specific info you think we can get out of this in the video?
I don't know. I think we did already talk pretty in depth about the different gangs and stuff, and they just showed more about that.
Yeah.
And we can do some speculation. I still have from the previous Night City Wire pretty
I know, but that's
clear from the story that's lying around if you want to do it, but I don't know.
I think you have to we have to just record it so that we can say, yeah, we or actually you thought that this was going to happen.
I have it written out. There's a date
okay,
on the
there's
document,
proof,
so we're safe.
Proof. That's nice.
So I can say told you all. No, but I don't know. I'll ask Reddit tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, indeed. Let's do good for that. Again, thanks for watching, and we will be keeping an eye at Cyberpunk, of course. Report back when we know more. So subscribe if you haven't already to the YouTube channel, follow on Twitch, and do all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. Bye. Thanks, mods.
Goodbye.
As always, support for Team Yor this fall. Thanks, Risa. Yeah. We're gonna need it, but it's gonna be exciting. Goodbye.